Listen to me. I don't care how many times life knocked you down. I don't care if you've been broke, heartbroken, counted out, overlooked, or underestimated. You will rise again. You will rise again. You see champions? Champions ain't made when everything's perfect. Champions are made when they fall down in front of the crowd. They get up anyway. You gotta wanna breathe again. You gotta wanna believe again. You gotta wanna rise again. Don't let the past paralyze you. Let it fuel you. Let it teach you. Let it remind you that failure ain't final unless you quit. You ain't done yet. Your story ain't over. I was homeless, lived in abandoned buildings, ate out of trash cans. But I didn't stay there. I got back up. I didn't rise because someone handed me a handout. I rose because I made a decision. A decision that this ain't how my story ends. So get up. Cry if you need to, but don't stay down. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. That's what greatness looks like. You were built for this. There's something inside you that pain couldn't kill, that betrayal couldn't break, that failure couldn't erase. That's your fire, and that's your purpose, and that's what's gonna make you rise again. Failure is not the end. It's a step in the process. You see, too many people hear the word of failure and they stop. They freeze. They shut down and say, I guess I'm not cut out for this. But I'm here to tell you today, that's the wrong mindset. That's the mindset of someone who hasn't been told the truth. The truth is, failure is not your enemy. Failure is your teacher. Failure is the process. It's the classroom that champions graduate from. The problem is people are so conditioned to think that if they don't win the first time, it's over. How much you know? That if the business didn't take off in the first year, it's time to quit. If the relationship fell apart, then they're not worthy of love. If the exam was failed, maybe they're not smart enough. No, that's a lie. That's a toxic lie, and so is you. Because greatness, true greatness, is never born from comfort or perfection. It's born from trial, from error, from falling and rising again and again and again. Look at anyone who ever accomplished something meaningful, any inventor, entrepreneur, athlete, speaker, leader. They all have one thing in common. They fail repeatedly. Some of them fail publicly, painfully, and embarrassingly. But that's not what defined them. What defined them is that they kept going. What made them legends is not that they never stumbled, but that they never let failure define them. Failure is a signal. It's telling you something. Sometimes it says, you need to try again with more focus. Sometimes it says, change your approach. Sometimes it says, keep going but grow in the process. What it never says is, oh, you're done. Only you can say that. Only you can decide that failure is the final chapter. But if you decide to keep riding, to keep moving, to keep believing, then failure just becomes a footnote in your story, not the title. When you hear failure, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're trying. It means you stepped into the ring. You dared to do something others were too afraid to attempt. That alone sets you apart. Most people never even try. But you went for it. Maybe you fell flat. Maybe you were humiliated. Maybe it hurt. But that pain, that disappointment is a down payment on success. It's a part of the investment. You don't plant a seed and expect fruit the next morning. You water it. You nurture it. You let it grow through storms, through seasons, through time. Your dream is the same. It's a seed. Failure doesn't kill it. It strengthens the roots. Every setback deepens your foundation. Every time you fall, you learn how to stand stronger. You develop resilience, grit, patience, and hunger. Now listen, there's no magic number for how many failures it takes. For some, it's 2 or 3. For others, it's 50. But the number doesn't matter. The key is that you don't stop. Every failure carries feedback. Every failure reveals something you didn't know before. And if you're humble enough to learn and bold enough to try again, you will get closer to your breakthrough. You can't microwave success. You can't hack your way around the struggle. The valley is where the roots grow deep. The dark places are where character is built. And if you're walking through that today, if you feel like a failure, if you feel like you blew it, I want you to hear this. You're not finished. This is not your final form. You're in the middle of your making. You're being shaped by the process. Every failure is part of the blueprint. Every time something didn't work out the way you wanted, it moved you closer to what will work. But only if you refuse to quit. Only if you embrace the lesson. Only if you see failure not as a verdict, but as a voice saying, this ain't it yet, but keep going. I've been there. I failed in front of crowds. I've had dreams crash hard, but I learned, I got better, I adjusted, I kept the faith. And over time, those failures became bricks I used to build the life I wanted. Not overnight, not without tears, but with determination. You got that same power inside you. The power to rise, to rebuild, to reimagine your path. But you gotta stop seeing failure as an ending and start seeing it as evidence that you're in motion. It means you're fighting. It means you're human. It means you got something in you worth refining. So stand up, dust yourself off, rewrite the narrative. Don't let failure whisper lies in your ear. You look it in the eye and say, thank you for the lesson. Now I'm going again. Because that's where transformation happens. That's where leaders are born. That's where your story turns. Failure is not the end. It's the fuel. It's the training ground. And it's just a step, one step in your journey to greatness. Keep stepping, keep growing, and don't ever stop rising. Pain is a signal, not a stop sign. When life hits you with pain, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental, the first reaction most people have is to back off, to stop, to retreat. We've been conditioned to believe that pain is the enemy, that something hurts, it must be wrong. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Pain in its purest form is one of the greatest teachers you'll ever have. It's not there to destroy you, it's there to awaken you, to alert you, to sharpen you. Pain is a signal, it's information. Information. It's the body, the spirit, the mind, all coming together to say, pay attention. Pain isn't random. It's revealing something. Maybe it's revealing that you've been holding on to something too long. An idea, a person, a habit, a comfort zone. Maybe it's telling you that you're growing, and growth isn't supposed to be easy. You ever go to the gym and try to build muscle without feeling sore afterward? Not possible. The soreness is the body signaling that change is happening. Pain is a part of the process. But most people don't hear the signal. They hear sirens, they panic, they run. They retreat back to what's comfortable. And in doing so, they forfeit the transformation that was just around the corner. Pain is not the stop sign. Pain is the green light that tells you it's time to level up. It's the friction that creates the spark for your fire. Think about this. Every time you've grown in life, there was pain involved. Think deeper. Your first heartbreak, pain. But it taught you something. Maybe it showed you your work. Maybe it revealed your patterns. Maybe it pushed you to focus on yourself. Losing a job? Pain. But maybe it opened the door you wouldn't have considered. Failure in a dream or project? Pain. But maybe it stripped away your ego, taught you humility, gave you wisdom. Pain is often the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. You don't become a stronger version of yourself by staying in your comfort zone. You evolve when you're forced to stretch, when you're pressured, when the world feels like it's closing in, and you find that tiny flame inside that refuses to go out. That flame is your purpose. And pain, believe it or not, is the wind that makes it burn brighter. Now here's the hard part. Pain doesn't always come with an explanation. Sometimes you don't know why it's happening. Sometimes you're in the middle of it and it just hurts. And you want to quit, you want to shut down. But if you can just hold on, just keep walking through the fire, something will shift. Eventually, the pain begins to shape you instead of break you. You start to realize you're stronger than you thought, that you can endure more than you believe, that what once made you cry now makes you determined, that the hurt that used to paralyze you now pushes you forward. And that's the shift, when pain goes from being something that stops you to something that fuels you. You've got to stop avoiding it. Stop running from it. Stop numbing it. Because the longer you avoid pain, the longer you delay your breakthrough. Some of you are in cycles, not because you're cursed, but because every time pain shows up, you hit the brakes. You treat it like it's a wall. But pain is not the wall, it's the test. It's asking you, how bad do you want it? Will you fight for it? Or will you grow for it? Or will you change for it? And here's what's crazy. Some of your greatest gifts will come wrapped in pain. That betrayal, it might lead to a deeper understanding of loyalty. That failure, it might birth a new passion. That loss, it might unlock a capacity for love you never had before, but you won't know unless you stay in the process, unless you keep showing up, unless you let the pain teach instead of letting it silence you. You can't run from pain and run toward purpose at the same time. One will always outrun the other. And if you want purpose, If you want power, growth, legacy, you've got to face pain head on. Not because it feels good, but because it's necessary. Just like a diamond needs pressure. Just like steel needs fire, your calling needs pain. So let the pain come. Let it speak. Let it work. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it define you. Don't let it bury you. You were built for more. You were built to endure, built to overcome, built to rise. And if you've got pain in your life right now, I'm telling you, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a deeper version of you, a better version, a more powerful version. Every tear is not wasted. Every ache has a reason. Every scar tells a story. But you've got to decide that the story won't stop here, that this pain won't break you, that it will build you, that it will push you to dig deeper, reach higher, believe harder. You don't have to love the pain, but you got to respect it. You got to respect what it's doing in you. Because one day you'll look back and say, that moment right there, pain, it changed me. It woke me up. It shifted everything. And you'll be grateful you didn't quit. You'll be proud that you didn't stop. Because pain was never meant to be the end of your road. It was the sign that you were on the right one. Rock bottom is not the end. It's the beginning. That's a truth that hits hard but hits home when you're at your lowest, when everything has collapsed. Your plans, your dreams, your confidence, it doesn't mean the journey is over. It means you found the foundation. It means everything fake, everything flimsy, everything shallow has been stripped away. And now, all that's left is the real you, the raw you, the version of yourself that has nothing to prove and nothing to lose. That's not the end. That's where true transformation begins. You see, the world teaches us to fear failure, to fear loss, to avoid discomfort. So when life pushes us to the edge, when it feels like we've fallen into the pit, the natural reaction is panic, despair. We think, I've lost everything. But what if you've actually lost what you didn't need? What if you've just been given the chance to rebuild, not the life others expected from you, but the one you were born to live? Rock bottom hurts. Let's not pretend it doesn't. It's cold, it's lonely, it's dark. You feel forgotten, misunderstood, even betrayed by people, by life, by yourself. But what rock bottom also does is remove the noise, the distractions, the expectations. When you're there, all the fake stuff fades away. All the masks you wore to impress people, all the chasing after things that never filled you up, gone, gone. At rock bottom, you face your truth. You see yourself clearly. And for many, that's the first time they've really seen themselves at all. The people who rise the highest in life, they've been to the bottom. Don't let the success fool you. That athlete, that entrepreneur, that leader, they didn't start at the top. They were overlooked, underestimated, rejected. They failed. They lost. But something about hitting rock bottom gave them a hunger, a grit, a decision. They said, I may be down, but I'm not done. I may be broken, but I'm still breathing. And with breath comes choice. With choice comes power. The power to rise again. Because when you're at rock bottom, you get to ask the most important question. What now? Why me? Now what did I do to deserve this? But what now? That question is powerful. It's the beginning of vision, of purpose, of strategy. That's where you shift from being a victim to becoming a creator. Because now you realize you can build something new, something better, not rushed, not driven by ego, but built from experience, clarity, and wisdom. And here's what else is real. Rock bottom humbles you. It breaks the pride. It dismantles the image. It reminds you that no matter how talented you are, how smart, how driven, life doesn't owe you anything. You gotta earn every inch of your comeback. Come once you do, you'll carry a strength that can't be faked, a confidence that's quiet but unshakable. Because you'll know you've been through the fire and you didn't burn, you forged. You didn't crumble, you created. Let's be honest, nobody chooses rock bottom, but everybody has the power to use it, to rise from it. And sometimes life will take you there not to destroy you, but to force you to rebuild on something solid. Your values, your faith, your calling, your vision. Some of the greatest reinventions came from breakdowns. Some of the most beautiful lives were built from the ruins of disappointment. Because pain awakens purpose and loss makes room for something greater. When you're at the bottom, you stop playing for applause. You stop trying to keep up appearances. You begin to move in silence, work in focus, grind in darkness. And in that place where nobody is cheering you on, you discover discipline. You discover who's really for you. You discover that you're your own rescue. And that realization, that's the beginning of power. The moment you say, I'm not waiting to be saved. I'm building my comeback with these bare hands. Rock bottom is also where you learn to let go. Of what? Of expectations that never served. Of relationships that drained you. Of paths that weren't yours to walk. You shed. You simplify. And in that shedding, you gain clarity. You start hearing your own voice again. You start trusting your instincts. You stop comparing. And suddenly you're not rising for revenge. You're rising for redemption, for restoration, for rebirth. Think about a seed. Before it grows, it's buried in the dirt, in darkness. Nobody sees it. It's cold, it's alone, but something happens in that hidden place. Roots begin to grow, depth begins to form. And one day that seed breaks through the ground. Not because someone pulled it out, but because it pushed through. That's you. That's what rock bottom does. It prepares your foundation. It deepens your roots. So when you rise, you're not fragile, you're fortified. So if you're in that low place right now, don't you dare give up. Don't confuse this chapter with your conclusion. Don't call over just because you don't like where you are. You have no idea what's growing beneath the surface. No idea what's shifting in your soul. No idea what kind of power you're about to tap into. This is not the end. It's the start of something fierce, something focused, something unstoppable. Every champion was once a contender who refused to quit at rock bottom. They chose to see it as a classroom, not a coffin, a place to learn, not a place to die. And now it's your turn. You've got something in you, something that loss can't take, something that failure can't erase, something that even pain can't bury. That's your fire. That's your fight. That's your fight. That's your future. Remember, the climb always starts at the bottom. The view at the top means more when you know what it took to get there. So embrace the bottom, honor the lessons, and then start climbing with every scar, every tear, every ounce of strength you've got left. Because rock bottom doesn't mean it's over. It means you've got nothing holding you back anymore. Now you build. Now you rise. Now you begin. The pain you feel today is not without purpose. It may seem unbearable, unrelenting, even unjust, but it is shaping something within you that comfort never could. Pain has a way of awakening us. It peels away the surface and forces us to see what lies beneath. When you're hurting, you're vulnerable, and when you're vulnerable, you're open to change, to truth, to strength you didn't know you had. Pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to build you into the person you're meant to become. And that process is never easy, but it is always necessary. When we go through pain, we often ask it, why me? We question what we did wrong, what we could have done differently, what we could have avoided. But the truth is, growth rarely happens in moments of peace. Growth comes through pressure, through struggle, through pain. And while no one welcomes it, pain doesn't ask for permission. It enters your life unexpectedly, uninvited. It breaks your routine, your rhythm, your sense of control. And in doing so, it forces you to rise above what you thought you were capable of. Pain introduces you to a new version of yourself. A deeper, wiser, more grounded version. You may not see it now, but there's purpose in your pain. Every tear you shed, every restless night, every moment of doubt is not wasted. You are being refined. Like gold in the fire, you are being purified, shaped, strengthened. The fire doesn't destroy gold. It reveals its true form. In the same way, your struggles are revealing your core. They're showing you what really matters. They're teaching you endurance, patience, and resilience. These aren't just words. They're muscle, and pain is how you develop them. Pain also teaches you empathy. Once you've been broken, you can recognize the brokenness in others. You become more compassionate, more understanding. The pain you've endured gives you a voice that others trust. When you speak, people listen. Not because you've had a perfect life, but because you've lived through the storms and survived. You've bled, but you've healed. And that healing gives you the authority to lead others out of their darkness. Your pain, once processed and understood, becomes your power. It's what allows you to inspire, to encourage, to uplift. But here's the thing. In the middle of pain, the process doesn't make sense. It feels chaotic. It feels unfair. You might be tempted to numb it, to escape it, to pretend it's not there. But the only way out of pain is through it. You have to feel it, sit with it, understand it, because avoidance only prolongs the lesson. Suppression turns pain into poison. But when you face it, when you let it break you open, it becomes your teacher. It shows you where the cracks are, where the healing needs to happen. And in time, you will rise stronger, clearer, and more whole. It's also in pain that we learn to depend on something greater than ourselves. When your strength runs out, when your plans fall apart, when your support system crumbles, that's when you realize you can't do it all alone. You start searching for deeper meaning, deeper purpose. You connect with your spirit, with the part of you that's eternal. Pain strips away the superficial and brings you back to your foundation. It reminds you that you're more than what you've lost, more than what's happened to you. You're still here, and that means your story isn't over. You might not realize it now, but some of your greatest breakthroughs will be born out of your deepest pain. That heartbreak is going to teach you how to love yourself. That betrayal is going to teach you how to set boundaries. That failure is going to teach you how to try again with greater wisdom. Every wound holds a lesson. Every scar tells a story. And when you stop seeing pain as punishment, as preparation, everything changes. Think about a muscle. It grows through resistance, through stress, through being torn down and rebuilt. Your spirit is the same. Pain tears you open, but then it gives you a chance to rebuild stronger, more resilient, more aligned. And just like with physical training, there's soreness, there's fatigue. There are days when you don't see the results. But if you stay committed, if you trust the process, you'll look back one day and realize that pain was your trainer. It was molding you, shaping you, preparing you. There will come a day when you'll be grateful for the very things you once prayed to be delivered from. Because you'll see that they were never there to ruin you. They were there to reveal you, to grow you, to equip you. And maybe you wouldn't have chosen the path that pain took you down, but you'll recognize that led you to places comfort never could have taken you. Places of strength, clarity, and purpose. Pain also makes you appreciate joy on a deeper level. When you've been through darkness, you don't take the light for granted. When you've known emptiness, you savor fulfillment. Your perspective shifts, gratitude deepens. You stop chasing what doesn't matter and start focusing on what truly does. That's the gift hidden in the pain. It refines your values. It purifies your vision. It gives your life weight and meaning. But none of this happens overnight. Healing takes time. Growth takes time. There will be days when it still hurts, when you still feel lost, when you wonder if it's ever going to get better. But it will. The pain will not last forever. You will smile again. You will laugh again. You will dream again. And when you do, it will be with a new level of strength. A deeper appreciation, a more powerful purpose. So if you're in pain right now, don't run from it. Lean into it. Ask what it's trying to teach you. Allow it to stretch you, to grow you. Trust that this season, as difficult as it is not permanent. It is a chapter, not the whole book. And this chapter is setting up something greater, something more aligned with who you truly are. Pain may be your present, but it does not define your future. It prepares you for it. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel is forged in fire, and strong souls are built in pain. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Prepared to rise, to lead, to shine. Don't waste the pain. Use it. Learn from it. Let it make you better, not bitter. Stronger, not hardened. Wiser, not weary, because your pain has a purpose. And one day you'll look back and see it was shaping your destiny all along. Sometimes in life, it feels like the world has turned its back on you. People you trusted walk away. Those you thought would always support you grow silent. Friends stop answering. Family distances themselves. Opportunities vanish. It's a lonely, painful experience. One that can shake your very sense of worth. But here's what you must understand. Even when no one else believes in you, you must believe in yourself. Even when every voice around you doubts your potential, you must become the voice that says, I will rise. You see, belief is not something you borrow. It's not something that others can inject into your soul. True belief, the kind that moves mountains, has to come from within. It has to be rooted in your own understanding of your value, your purpose, your calling. And that belief must be unshakable, even when everything around you is shaking, because there will be days when no one claps for you. No one celebrates you. No one notices your progress, but your progress still matters. Your journey is still valid. Your journey is still worth pursuing. When no one believes in you, that's when you have the greatest opportunity to build something real. because you learn how to rely on your own inner strength. You stop waiting for approval. You stop depending on validation. You stop seeking permission. You start walking boldly in your own truth. You stop asking, "Hey, do you think I can do this?" and start declaring why I know I can. That's the turning point. That's where power is born. Not in applause, but in persistence. We live in a world that's quick to celebrate success, but slow to support struggle. People will rally around you when you made it, but they go quiet when you're just started. That's human nature. Don't take it personally. Don't let it make you bitter. Let it make you better. Use it as fuel. Let every moment of rejection, doubt, and dismissal light a fire in you. Say to yourself, "Watch me," not out of spite, but out of determination, out of love for your own calling. Some of the most successful people in the world started with nothing but a vision and a burning belief in themselves. No investors, no support, no cheerleaders. Just a relentless inner drive that said, "I refuse to quit." When no one else believes in your dream, it becomes even more important that you do, because your dream chose you. It was planted in your heart for a reason. And maybe it's not their job to see it. Maybe it's your job to build it, so they had no choice but to see it later. But that journey, it's hard, it's lonely, it's filled with moments of doubt. You question your path. You wonder if you're crazy. You'll think about giving up. But in those moments, remember this: doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. You can fail and still rise again. But if you doubt yourself, you'll never even try. You'll never give yourself the chance to see what could have been. Don't let the silence of others become the silence in your own heart. Believing in yourself means showing up every day even when you don't feel like it. It means doing the work when no one's watching. It means pushing through fear, through fatigue, through failure. It means falling down and deciding again and again to get back up. That's not ego. That's resilience. That's character. That's what separates the people who live their dreams from those who only talk about them. You've got to stop waiting for someone to come along and validate you. That's not how greatness works. You don't need someone to tell you you're worthy. You already are. You don't need someone to choose you. You need to choose yourself. Because if you don't believe in you, why should anyone else? The world will always reflect the energy you give it. If you walk like you're unsure, the world will treat you like you're uncertain. But if you move with conviction, even before the results show up, the world will eventually catch up to your confidence. And yes, there will be setbacks. There will be doors that close, people who laugh, plans that fall apart. That's part of the process. But you have to remind yourself, those setbacks are not stop signs. They are redirections. They are lessons. They are part of the shaping process. Keep going, keep grinding, keep showing up. The people who succeed are not always the most talented. They are the most relentless. You must learn how to be your own supporter, your own motivator, your own coach. Look yourself in the mirror and say, "I've got this." Remind yourself who you are, what you've overcome, what you built, what you're capable of. Speak life over your goals. Speak strength over your struggles. Your words have power, especially the ones you say to yourself. Feed your mind with positivity, determination, and faith every single day. And remember, this is a process. You won't feel strong every day. Some days you'll feel defeated, tired, hopeless. That's normal. You're human. But even on those days, don't quit. Even if you have to crawl, keep moving forward. Forward is forward no matter the speed. Even if the only thing you do today is refuse to give up, that's enough. That's a victory. Stack enough of those small wins and they'll turn into something extraordinary. Eventually, people will start to notice. The ones who doubted will ask how you did it. The ones who walked away will wonder how you made it without them. The ones who overlooked you will realize they underestimated you. But by then, it won't even matter, because you'll know that you didn't rise because of them. You rose in spite of their absence. You built your future not on applause, but on belief. So if you're in that place right now, where it feels like no one sees your potential, no one supports your vision, don't lose heart. Don't give up. Dig deeper. Work harder. Keep building. You are capable. You are chosen. And when you finally rise, and it won't be because others believed in you. It will be because you believed in yourself when it mattered most. At the end of the day, your journey is yours alone. No matter how many people cheer for or how many walk away, no matter how loud the applause or how deafening the silence, it all comes down to what you believe about yourself when no one is watching. The truth is, life is not about the approval of others. It's not about fitting into someone else's mode or meeting their expectations. It's about answering the call within you, the one that refuses to stay silent even when the world ignores it. That call is your purpose. That call is your truth. That call is your rise. When the storms of life beat down on you, when the nights are long and lonely, when the only sound you hear is your own doubt whispering lies to you, you must fight back with the truth. That you were made for more. That you were born with greatness inside you. That you are not defined by your failures, your past, or the opinions of people who can't see your vision. You are defined by your decision to keep going, to stand tall, to rise again. Every setback you face, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every no, every closed door, it all served a purpose. It refined you. It strengthened you. It taught you what you're truly made of. And if you made it through that, you can make it through anything. You didn't come this far to quit. You didn't endure all that pain just to stay on the ground. There's still fight in you. There's still purpose in you. And there's still a reason for you to get back up. Because someone out there needs what only you can offer. Your story, your strength, your voice, it matters. And maybe, just maybe, your greatest rise will come from your lowest fall. See, the world won't always celebrate you when you're in the middle of the climb. But that doesn't mean the climb isn't worth it. Sometimes the climb is where the most important growth happens. It's in the struggle, in the rejection, in the loneliness where your character is formed, where your passion is tested, where your resilience is born. That's the part of the story most people skip when they tell their success tales. They show you the highlight reel, not the countless nights they cried in silence, not the battles they fought when no one was around, not the courage it took just to wake up and try again. But now you know that rising again is not just a choice, it's a way of life. It's a commitment you make to yourself every single day to show up, to speak life over yourself, to stand when you feel like falling, to run when you feel like crawling, to love yourself through the process even when the results haven't shown up yet. You got to stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect support system. It may never come. But you can still come alive. You can still rise. You can still make something beautiful out of brokenness. You can still be the one who defies the odds, who rewrites the narrative, who becomes the example others look to when they feel like giving up. Your rise will not only change your life, it will inspire others to rise too. Because when you rise, you give others permission to rise. When you walk in your truth, you help others find theirs. When you refuse to quit, you become a living testimony that strength doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence. So don't be afraid of the dark moments. Don't despise the silent season. Don't let the absence of applause convince you your dream isn't valid. The most powerful moves in life are often made in silence, behind closed doors, when no one is watching. When it's just you, your faith, and your fire. That's where champions are made. That's where legacies are built. That's where warriors are forged, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. You're in the shadow now, maybe, but you won't stay there. Your rise is coming. Your breakthrough is on the way. But it begins with you. It begins with your belief. It begins with a decision to keep going, no matter what. You owe it to yourself to finish what you started, to carry your dream to the finish line, to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than they ever gave you credit for. And even if no one claps when you cross the finish line, even if no one ever says, well done, you'll know what it took. You'll know the battles you fought. You'll know the tears you shed. And you'll walk with your head high, not because others lifted you up, but because you learned to lift yourself. That's what rising again is all about. It's not about never falling. It's about never staying down. It's about finding strength in the struggle, grace in the ground, and purpose in the pain. It's about refusing to let the end of one chapter convince you that your story is over. You still have pages to write. You still have ground to cover. You still have lives to impact. And you still have time. So take a deep breath, wipe your tears, square your shoulders, and rise again. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because you were born to, because the fire in you is stronger than the storm around you, because you were made to rise again and again and again, no matter how many times you've been knocked down, no matter how many people walked away, no matter how long it's been since you felt strong. This is your moment. This is your comeback. This is your resurrection. So don't look back. Don't slow down. Don't wait for anyone else to believe in you. Be your own light. Be your own motivator. Be your own miracle. The world may not have seen it yet, but you know. So you were built for this. You were born for this. You were born for this. And your rise, it starts now.